All right, let's talk about one of the absolute cornerstones of Python, the list. Now, you might think, oh, a list, that's simple, right? And you're not wrong. But really getting a handle on them, that's what separates good code from great code. It's the secret to making your programs cleaner, way more powerful, and just faster.
I mean, seriously, have you ever tried to write a program where you didn't need to keep track of a bunch of stuff? Like a list of your favorite songs, a shopping list, a to-do list for your project, anything. You've got all this data, right? How in the world do you wrangle it all and keep it organized inside a single variable?
Well, this is where Python just shines. The answer is the list. Think of it as this super flexible, super powerful box you can put your data in. But here's the cool part. It's not a static box. It's more like a living, breathing thing. It can grow, it can shrink, it can change its contents completely. Whatever your program needs it to do, it adapts on the fly. Okay, so to really get good with lists, you've got to know their DNA, right? There are 4 fundamental rules that define what a list is and how it behaves. Let's call it the blueprint. Once you get this, everything else just clicks into place. So here are the 4 big ones. First, they're ordered. Super simple. If you put an apple in before a banana, it's always going to be in that order. The sequence you create is the sequence you get. Second, and this is a huge deal, they're mutable. That's a fancy word that just means you can change them. You can add things, remove things, swap things out, all after the list has already been created. Third, they allow duplicates. No problem having apple in there 5 times if you want. And finally, they're heterogeneous. You can mix and match data types. Throw in a number, a string, another list, it doesn't care. It'll hit all of it.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty. We're going to look at the bread and butter stuff now, the things you'll be doing with lists every single day. So how do you even make one? Easiest way, and the one you'll see 99% of the time, is just using square brackets. Boom, you've got a list. You can also use the list function, which is super handy if you have something else, like maybe a tuple, and you want to turn it into a list. And hey, sometimes you don't know what's going to be in it yet, right? So you can just create an empty list and start adding stuff to it later. Okay, you've got stuff in the list. How do you get it out? This is one of those things you just have to burn into your brain. In Python, we count from 0, always. So the first item isn't at position 1, it's at position or index 0. To get apple out of our list, we ask for what's at index 0. Now, this is one of my favorite little tricks in Python. What if you want the last item? You could figure out how long the list is and do some math, or you can just use -1. Yep. -1 always gives you the last item. -2 gives you the second to last, and so on. It's such a clean, elegant shortcut. You're going to love it. Okay, remember when we said lists are mutable? Let's actually see what that looks like. Here's our starting list. Just apple and banana. So maybe we're out of bananas and we want to swap it for an orange. No problem. We just find the index of banana, which is 1, right? Apple is 0, banana is 1, and we just assign a new value to it. It's that direct. And check it out. The list is now apple orange. We didn't create a new list. We changed the original one. That's what mutability is all about. The list itself has been altered, right there, in place. But changing things isn't just about swapping values. What if you want to get rid of something altogether? So let's start with this list of 3 fruits. This time, we're going to use the remove method. Now, pay attention to this part. You tell it the value of the item you want to remove, not its index. So we say remove banana. And here's a little heads up. If you have multiple bananas, it'll only remove the first one it finds. And if banana isn't in the list at all, your code's going to crash. So you got to be careful with this one. And bam, it's gone. The list just closes the gap. It automatically resizes itself. See how dynamic these things are? They just take care of the details for you. Okay, you've got the basics down cold. Now it's time to level up. We're moving into what I like to call the power moves. These are the techniques that really make your code sing. They make it shorter, easier to read, and just, well, more Pythonic. First power move, slicing. Why grab just one thing when you can grab a whole chunk? The syntax looks a little weird at first, 1 to 4, but it's simple once you get it. The first number is where you start, inclusive. The second number is where you stop, exclusive. So 1 to 4 means start at index 1 and grab everything up to but not including index 4. It's an unbelievably efficient way to work with parts of a list. Oh man, get ready for one of the most beloved features in all of Python, the list comprehension. On the left, you see the old school way of building a list of square numbers. You make an empty list, you loop through some numbers, and you append the square of each one. I mean, it works, fine, but it's a little clunky. Now look at the right. This is the Python way. And that's the magic right there. A single, beautiful, readable line of code does the exact same thing. You can practically read it out loud like a sentence. Give me x squared for every x in my range. It's compact, it's elegant, and when you see this in someone's code, you know they know what they're doing.
Okay, last power move for today, nested lists. We said a list can hold anything, right? Well, anything includes other lists, so you can have a list of lists. Why would you do that? Well, it's the perfect way to create a 2D grid, like a tic-tac-toe board, a spreadsheet, or any kind of data matrix. It's a list where each item is a row.
So how do you pull a single number out of that grid? Easy. You just chain the indexes. Think of it like coordinates, row, then column. The first bracket, 0, gets you the first row, which is the list 1, 2, 3. Then the second bracket, 1, operates on that list, grabbing the item at index 1, and that gives us the number 2.
Whew, okay. We've gone from the absolute basics of what a list is, all the way up to some seriously powerful techniques. We've turned a simple data container into a real programming powerhouse. So let's just do a quick wrap-up of the key things to remember.
Here's the bottom line. The list is your #1 go-to tool for holding collections of data in Python. Period. They're ordered, they're changeable, and that makes them incredibly versatile. You'll use them for everything. And when you master the basics and start using things like slicing and comprehensions, you're not just writing code anymore. You're writing smart, efficient, elegant Python.
So that leaves us with one final thought. We've given you the blueprint, right? You have the tool. Now the real question is, what are you going to build with it? Think about your own projects, your own ideas. What collections of data, what messy problems in your world can now be tackled and organized with a simple, powerful Python list?